Hello everyone. The question of this video is simple. Is elemental damage worth it? And the answer is also pretty simple. No, it is not really worth it. The issue that I see with elemental damage is that we need to focus on many skills in comparison to raw. For raw damage, we go for weakness explode 3, critical boost, attack boost, and depending from weapon to weapon, critical eye. And with that, we are all set. But for elemental weapons we need to go even further in terms of skills, because we need the elemental skill, weakness exploit, critical boost, critical element, attack boost, and some critical eye, plus any other extra skill like power prolonger, focus, and some others. If we analyze the cookie cutter Narga build for lances, it is a pretty consistent weapon with 100% affinity and a decent amount of damage. And if we look at the damage we deal with some other builds like the ones I've showed before for elemental lances, in theory we have a better damage output, but let's remember that the Tetradomi is going to give us a neutral damage. If we want to get this exact same result, then we need to fight a monster with at least 20% in its elemental multiplier. And the reality of this is that not every monster has a multiplier like that. Therefore, we are going to struggle a bit if we want to go for that overrated term in many games nowadays, the so-called meta. From the get-go, let's be clear. In skilled hands, most builds are going to destroy any monster, but in casual hands, the story is going to be another. Another important thing is that we can't go for the same build as raw. Well, we obviously can use the same build, but it's not going to be optimal if we change from monster A to monster B, then C, and so on, because the multipliers are all over the place. So as you can see, elemental weapons damage aren't that good when we want to maximize the elemental damage, of course. In other words, for those who like to mindlessly follow the meta, elemental weapons are never going to be an option, but the thing here is that to me elemental weapons should be way better than pure raw, because you need to specialize so much the build to get the best result out of it, and even trying to go for as much damage as possible. Depending from weapon to weapon, most of its damage output is going to be raw damage. In this entry of the franchise, critical element is not even worth it, if we compare the potential damage we get out of critical boost, of course. So that basically summarizes why elemental weapons aren't precisely the best ones. But we already knew most of that information. So, is there a way people would like to use elemental weapons? I think there are many ways to actually make most weapons really interesting, or worth using, and trying to get different weapons here and there. But that will require a huge change in what we already know of this game. For example, when I started talking about the status in 2.0, there were many people commenting something like elemental status are fun, but they are not the best. And some other people commented things like why not make different monsters with different effects, let's give it that name, like Kushala. Once you poison it, it is not able to use its black wind. Why not create a monster that hardens its skin as the battle goes? That way, if you only use raw weapons, you will struggle a bit throughout the hunt. Other example would be, if we attack Almudron with fire element, as the battle goes, it softens its skin or armor. Why not create another Basarios with terrible multipliers but better elemental multipliers? And before people start complaining about these ideas, remember that the title of the game is Monster Hunter, not Monster Slayer. There are many ways to make this game great again, but as it is right now, we can agree that raw is going to be the easiest approach. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.